Alright, so it's taken me a long time to figure out how to try and break down this video, but this is my Shazam official review, and hopefully this is my final take, and we'll be able to get it done in 7 minutes or less. Alright, so first things first, what is Shazam about? Shazam is about this young teen boy who is named Billy Batson, is in foster care, and he is in search of his biological mother, whom he was separated from at a young age. He is viewed as a high risk or a problematic kid because he runs away from foster homes, and this problematic behavior ends up having him go from home to home until he ends up in a group home run by two former foster care children who have married and decided to become foster parents themselves and try and raise foster children in a loving and understanding home. Okay, now, this is a superhero movie, right? There is this wizard who is the sole survivor of this council of 7, I guess, magic practitioners who have a sworn duty to protect this world and realm from the forces of evil. Now, early in their activities, they chose a champion to share their power with and help them protect the world, and he apparently decided to turn to the dark side and unleash the forces of evil upon mankind in the form of 7 deadly sins. And it's been a few days since I saw it, so memory's a little hazy. So I guess in the battle that ensued to defeat their champion and the forces he's unleashed, it killed most of the council except for one. And this one has been on the search for a champion, and he's very selective because of what happened with the former champion, to share his power with. And many people are summoned, and no one passes the test. And one in the not too distant past, one potential applicant or recipient, I guess, of the power is this victim of an abusive household, and he fails the test of the wizard and is allured by the power of the 7 deadly sins. So he's rejected, and the search continues. Now, this boy grows up and wants to find this power that he is denied. And he comes across numerous other people that have had similar encounters to him, until he has compiled enough enough clues to be able to locate this wizard. And he does, and he takes the power of the 7 deadly sins and attacks the wizard and flees, thinking that he has, I guess, finished off the wizard. Now, the wizard, in his last desperate attempt, summons a champion, and Billy is, also, like as I mentioned, a high-risk teenager, and he's a scrappy young man. And after a chance encounter rescuing his new foster brother from some bullies, he is summoned to the wizard because he's exhibited that he may have a pure heart. And he has to be the new champion because the wizard can no longer protect us, and he dies after transferring his power, or disappears after transferring his power to Billy. Now, Billy is now endowed with this power that makes him a powerhouse, and he has no guidance and no knowledge of what to do with these powers. So what does he do? He goes off to have fun with them and to test his limits with his foster brother that he rescued from the bullies, who is a superhero fanboy and enthusiast and all this stuff. Now, the reject that actually attacked the wizard is informed by his source of power that the wizard chose a champion, and he goes to find Billy to confront him and take his power. And that is basically what this movie is. Billy has to defend himself from this person wielding the 7 deadly sins, and the world from the forces that he may unleash. That he is in between us and them. And that is Shazam. So, what do I think that this movie did well? Well, going in, there's a couple things that I'd wondered. I'd wondered what kind of tone it would be, if it would be serious and deep and thoughtful, or if it would be light and fun and things that I had heard. And I had wondered also how it would address the name issue, because Shazam is the source of his power, but his real name as a hero was traditionally Captain Marvel, but due to legal issues, Marvel has gotten the name and DC does not use the name. But both things were addressed. The tone of the movie, turns out it is a pretty kind of corny kids movie, which was interesting, I guess. And that also addressed the name issue, where him and his brother are actually testing different pseudonyms, and they're in search of a superhero name. And Shazam is just the word they use for the transformative power, and a placeholder, I guess, for his name and the name of the wizard. Now, some of the things that I thought the movie did well, I thought it depicted the powers, like the energy, the lightning, the monsters of the 7 deadly sins very well. Billy and his brother Freddy did a pretty good job. The wizard, Jimon Hansu, I don't know exactly how to pronounce his name. I should have. Anyways, I thought he did a very good job. I was very doubtful going into it from the trailers, but he seemed like he believed, and he was sincere and earnest in his performance. Now, what did it do badly? Shazam and the main villain, Dr. Savannah, who is the person who harnessed the 7 deadly sins, when they exhibit their powers, they look very fake and Gumby-like, or rubbery. And we've seen this in other movies like the Black Panther and Spider-Man Homecoming and a lot of different MCU movies. And this is, we'll say, a victim of that, where it looks like the director may not exactly know how to make superpowers look real or appealing. Also, this movie being corny, I think it was kind of intentional, but I think it's a negative thing when a movie is corny, and some of the acting was pretty bad. Like, of the bullies, the one in particular who wears a leather jacket was very much seemed like a rookie, and was trying not to smile through many of his scenes. The parents, the foster parents, were kind of corny and cliche, and a lot of it just seemed very simplified and corny, just kind of like coloring with bold colors and no shading and nuance, so that the audience, and I guess the target audience being children, know what's going on and they can progress the story rapidly. But some of the things that were corny, like Billy and Shazam testing their powers, having fun, acquire a lot of money, and they spend it and buy things, and the parents are totally oblivious. It's like, okay, you know you didn't buy that flat screen TV. You know you didn't buy these video games and all this, these DVDs and all these consoles. How come you're not investigating where your kids are getting this stuff from? And one of the good things, I guess, this takes place in Philadelphia, and they did a good job at. I don't take anything off; it's hot. They did a good job at showcasing Philadelphia and making it feel like it's a character of itself. And the Philadelphians, I liked them. They were appealing and enjoyable, but at the same time, they were not like real people. They did not respond. Now, I know this is a world where Superman exists and Wonder Woman exists and all these things exist, but they also didn't exactly respond in the real way somebody would respond when they encounter something, some fantastic phenomenon. Like, we live in a world with fantastic things like terrorism and stuff like that, and if there's some kind of terror attack or a car crash right by us, so there would just be a certain reaction. There wouldn't just be this level of comfort in making jokes and stuff like that. So I disliked that, and I think it was a negative thing for the movie, but and in the same vein, they'll go for gags or jokes or something that's funny or cliche that we've seen, a movie trope, in favor of realism. I thought Freddy was very annoying, actually. Now, he did a good job. There are very annoying people in real life, but I dislike that he's so annoying. I also dislike some of the Easter eggs and cameos. Now we're going to get into spoilers. Superman makes an appearance, but they do a neck down type of thing, so they don't have to have Henry Cavill appear as Superman. And they show one of Captain Marvel's classic villains. Now, this is already twice as long as I intended to be, and it's already as long as my first two takes. But this is different. I told you about the movie. Anyways, I'm going to try and wrap it up real quick. But some of the things I did like, there was quite a lot of Easter eggs. Now, Freddy, his fanboy brother, is always wearing a shirt with a DC emblem, like a Wonder Woman or Aquaman or Batman or Superman symbol. So that was interesting to look out for. But once you knew or saw, you always saw it. And he's got a lot of different fan paraphernalia. And I'm sorry. There's different characters that they mention. Like I said, Superman's in it, one of his classic villains, Dr. Savannah. The champion that actually turned on the Council of Wizards is Black Adam. And so there's a lot of cool things. And one of the things that I mentioned in the Aquaman review I did, that I liked how it further developed the world and built upon the world that's already been established, not only in talking about the existence of other heroes and it feeling like a world that is lived in with, populated with people, but also it build on the mythos that's been established. Like, one of the people that he gets his powers from is Zeus, and Zeus ties heavily into the Wonder Woman movie, so I enjoyed that. And Hercules, who's a demigod, who I would have liked to find out, or seen or found out about in one of the other movies, but that is yet to have happen. And another thing I liked that I mentioned that they did well was the creatures, the 7 deadly sins. I liked that. I thought they did a very good job. I liked how they looked, and I liked that the movie did not hold back. After Savannah acquires these powers, he immediately goes to seek revenge on his family, and he uses these monsters to kill his family, and it's in a business setting, and they kill everybody in that room. And I appreciate that the movie didn't hold back, that a lot of it was implied, but also they gave you stuff to work with, like the monster bit someone's head off, that they were eating the people, and he actually kills Savannah, throws somebody out the window of like a skyscraper. And I appreciate that they didn't hold back and that they went there, and that even though this movie is not as realistic or as deep as I would personally prefer, there are still consequences, and they don't try and deny what's going on. Like, many superhero movies allow people to stick their head in the sand and act as if there's no collateral damage, act as if no innocent people are hurt, act as if the villains have no success, the heroes have no failures, and things like that. And I'm looking at you, Marvel. And some DC, but I'm looking at you, Marvel. Like, the people are clearly dying in this, and they are not trying to hide the fact that people die, and I appreciate that. And in fact, when Black Adam unleashed the 7 deadly sins upon mankind, the wizard said millions died. So take that, people that are like, oh, there's so much collateral and so much destruction in Man of Steel. He's freaking trying to save us from an alien invasion. Of course there's some collateral. But anyways, so thousands of people died in that alien invasion, while millions of people died in the monster invasion. Now, of course, we didn't see it, but we heard about it, so people are going to be like, oh, well, they can dismiss it. But I appreciate that this movie doesn't pull its punches. I mean, it's selective in the punches it throws. Like, the foster kids, Billy's family, end up getting captured by the monsters, and instead of being killed like the boardroom was killed, they're obviously just held captive. And that kind of plot device I find repulsive. It pushes me away. I understand why they did it, but it doesn't serve the story. It's not realistic. These monsters eat things, eat people. Why would they spare the children? I understand that they're used as bargaining chips and as a hostage thing, but no harm is done to them at all. And it's like, eh. But ultimately, I think the movie is pretty good. I definitely think it will be a hit and popular, and I personally enjoyed it. But I think as far as quality goes, it was just pretty good. I know I say that often. but I think a lot of movies are either middling and mediocre or pretty good. Some are poor, some are bad, or some are a little less than mediocre. But I thought this was pretty good. Oh, also, I didn't really mention, does it feel like Zachary Levi, Shazam, and Billy Batson are the same person? No. Shazam was a lot goofier than Billy was as a kid. Now I understand he's excited and giddy about the power and things like that, but he felt more of like a nerd as a superhero than he did as a teenager. So they didn't really feel like... No, I know originally they were two different, almost two different characters, Billy versus Shazam. But in the modern continuity, in the modern... Who are you talking to? Yeah, alright, thanks. Anyways, in the modern continuity, the consciousness is retained and whatnot, and this did not really feel like that. It felt like kind of cool, mysterious kid, and turns into superpowered nerd. But anyways, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for communicating and commenting. And it turns out my 7-minute video turned into a 21-minute long video. And it's actually longer than my first 2 takes. But this is still different. If you want a different flavor for each video, you got it. And maybe you'll watch all. Maybe you'll watch none. I don't know. I'm just freaking adding more time to the clock. Anyways, thanks. 1 million subscribers. And thank you to the 22 that do follow me. I don't know exactly what brought you to my channel and what the appeal is, but I appreciate it, and it's always very almost shocking when I find out that I have a new subscriber or that people have actually watched my video. I don't know if it's my sister watching it over and over to try and like make me feel good or whatever, or what not. But anyways, thank you very much. Hit me up, comment, and I will definitely... we'll have a dialogue and a conversation. Did you see Shazam? Did you like Shazam? And do you think it's good? Now remember, I didn't say this in front of this video, but there's a difference between liking it, and there's a difference between liking something and there's the quality of it. So hopefully if you watch enough of my reviews, you'll start to get that imprinted in your brain that just because you like something doesn't make it good. Just because something's good doesn't mean you like it. And be able to differentiate between the two and still give give credit where it's due. If something's good, you can say it's good regardless of your own personal taste and feelings about that thing. Now Shazam, I feel, is pretty good. It's corny, but corny kids movie and underdeveloped in a point so that they can move at a fast clip. Everybody's caught up and everyone's on the same page. But with that as the goal, they did it well. And well, yeah, 24 minutes. Terrible. Alright, there's another video. Thanks for watching.